Now, if you're anything like me, you've probably heard and know a lot about the speeduino based ECUs, but there's always just been like one, maybe two things where you're just like, yeah, I don't know, maybe that's not what I want. Maybe I want to spend a lot more, but there's always been some really good things about them. They've always been really, really budget friendly, and yes, they're very simple, but most of the time, simple is good. And they've always been able to run just about anything, even though they're typically low channel count, they can run a V8. But you don't necessarily need all of the extra bells and whistles that come with a super high end ECU like a Haltech. Now, what comes with being a budget is usually lack thereof in terms of fit and finish. So you're talking plastic cases, 3D printed cases, not super high-end materials until now. Now, we get things like this. And if you've never seen this before, you're in the right place. This is the Closed Deck X4 by OpenLogic EFI. And no, they're not paying me to do this. I bought this with my own money because I think it's a great product, and it's the capabilities that this has and the fit and finish far outshine the dollar amount put on it. Now, I'm not going to dive into all of the specs on this thing because honestly, if you're watching this video, you've probably heard of speeduinos before and you can do your own research on what the specifications are. But I want to talk about other things that aren't listed on the specs and what makes this thing actually incredible for the dollar amount. Now, the single greatest thing I love about this is how it comes. It gets delivered just like this, fully assembled in an aluminum enclosure, ready to go. Well, not ready to go. There's a few things, but I'm going to show you how to do that. But it's a full cast aluminum enclosure, fully soldered. And you just have to connect a few little jumpers inside. So I'm going to get to that. But the other great thing that this comes with, automotive sealed connectors. Now, these are not AMP connectors. I believe they are Sigma connectors, but these are the same exact connectors that are used on ECU Master products, which I had one of those. Connectors are very, very good. They're sealed, they're waterproof. Comes with all your little pins to go with it. Yes, there are two sizes because there's actually two different sizes of pins that connect with this for your high power, high ground applications that need more current draw. It comes with everything. That's why this thing is great. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but just the fact that it comes fully assembled, fully soldered in an aluminum enclosure, it has automotive grade connectors. Those are just the two things that I was always super hesitant about because, I don't know, quality and fit and finish are one of the things where electronics seem, you want high-end stuff with electronics. Now, yes, you can build a speeduino ECU a lot cheaper than what you're paying for this. Granted, it's not a lot at all. It's only 260 bucks. But I'm a mechanical person. A lot of people out there are a mechanical person. It takes a very special person to want to buy a bare PCB, tons of components, and solder them all yourself and hope that it all works. Now, I can solder. I'm not a great solder person, but I would pay the money to not have to do it. So that alone, I will pay an extra however much it costs so that I don't have to solder. It is one of my biggest pain points, one of the things I hate the most, and I don't have to do that because of this. The other great thing that I believe his name is Aaron that actually runs OpenLogic EFI somewhere in the state of New York, it doesn't require a special speeduino configuration file. It just uses a standard config file. No special coding, no nothing, just act like you're programming a name brand speeduino board and this will run it. So there's no soldering, no sketchy PC connectors, you get sealed connectors, no special configuration files, and it ships to your door fully assembled. I mean, if that's not makings of a budget ECU intended for everyone, I don't know what is. So now let's open this guy up. It's just 4 screws, and I'll show you how you have to kind of manually configure a few things, but it's actually really clever how we're doing it, and it allows you to control different aspects just by swapping some jumpers around. So there's no electronic programming you need to do. You just mechanically change some jumpers, and then the whole basic logic of the ignition system can change. Alright, so we're gonna open this guy up now. We got 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got them loose already. We're just gonna pop this open.
without trying to scratch this up because it looks really nice right now. So this is what you get. This is the inside of this. And the fact that you can open this up and look at everything inside is actually super cool to me. So the only things that you really have to do is this guy, which let's see if we can get up in there and have it focus, is... Okay. Well, what I can tell you is this guy right here, that's your ignition voltage. So that basically allows you to jumper it between 12 volts on one side, which would be used for like distributors, igniters, dumb coils basically. Or if you go to the opposite side, its output changes from 12 to 5. So now you can drive smart coils, things like that, where you don't need a 12 volt signal, they're looking for a 5 volt signal. So just by jumpering that allows you to control both dumb and smart ignition systems. So that is a mechanical change. It fully changes the whole premise of the ignition system, and it's as simple as that. The other thing you need to configure yourself are these two guys. These are your crank and cam triggers. So basically it's a jumper to say, okay, do you need to go Hall effect or do you have to go through the VR conditioner? And thankfully I'm gonna use both Hall effect because I need to make custom mounts for my stuff. But if you needed a VR signal, there's provisions for a VR conditioner there because the speeduino software needs square wave speed sensors basically. So a VR doesn't output in square, it outputs in sine. So you need to take that signal, convert it from sine wave to square wave. That's basically all that we're doing there, but a Hall effect output is square wave. So you don't need a VR conditioner if you're running Hall effect, and you just need to basically connect this jumper from the middle pin to the Hall side. That's it. That is the extent of configuration that you need to do on this guy. And honestly, it's so simple. It's so easy.
So now that you know exactly what you have to do inside this guy to actually tailor it to your application, let's not ignore the elephant. It's the price. This thing, for what it's capable of and the fit and finish and quality that you get, it is beyond ridiculous for less than $300 shipped to your door. The equivalent of any, we'll call them name brand ECUs, is easily 3 to 4 times the price. Yes, those name brand ECUs get you more sophisticated software and a little bit more in-depth kind of features that you don't necessarily get with this, but what comes with that can be complication. Now this is going on something very, very old, and with that becomes, it needs to be simple because there's nothing crazy on old stuff. Now you start getting into newer stuff that has a lot more requirements. I mean, I'm not even going to touch the full capabilities of this for my project. I don't have variable valve timing. This can do that. I don't need it. So I'm not even maxing out the capabilities of this. So why should I spend over $1,000 to get an ECU when I can get one for less than 300 bucks? Now with that kind of crazy difference in price, this is also going to open up a lot of doors for people that are curious about tuning their own car and wiring and getting into the weeds of all this stuff that goes with it, because the cost of entry is a lot lower. I had to bite the bullet and buy a $1,000 ECU before. Many people have, and it's intimidating. Like that's not nothing. That's a good amount of money. But for less than 300 bucks, I could do that. $300 isn't a ton. You can ration a few things here and there and make that money back. It's nothing compared to the other ones. So I think this little guy has the makings to change some stuff, and I'm here for it. The more people that can get into standalone ECUs, revive their old stuff, fix their old computers that are dead bricked, not working anymore, and allow them to have control over everything, there's no downsides to that. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, but I think this guy has some legs, and I'm curious to see where it goes, honestly. Okay. Be entertaining. It wasn't dead. Ready to go. It's already aluminum. Also really clever how we're doing it. Well, this is how it comes. How can I not get this to be so